What you guys, got another video here, 5 things people blame on Microsoft. That's what we're going to be taking a look at today. Now, I've been using Windows 11 since its release. Now, everyone has an opinion on something, so let's take a look at some of the most common 5 things that people complain about Windows 11. So for the first one we're talking about is forced Windows updates. Many users are frustrated by automatic updates that install Windows updates without their consent, or sometimes causing restarts or breaking apps and drivers. This is a common problem I see. A lot of people in the comment section will moan about this, but you can quite easily set this up for manual installation rather than having it set up as automatic installation. So one of the things I see quite a lot is people will update Windows straight away, think, oh, my computer's at risk, I need to update Windows. And then when there's a problem, the first person they blame is Microsoft. So really, at the end of the day, you could actually put this to manual and take full control of your updates. I've made videos showing you how to do this. You can change the active hours to automatic or manual, and you can change this to update when you want it to and take full control of your updates rather than allowing Microsoft to push these out and update your system in the background and then restart without your consent. Now, that's not to say that Microsoft don't do enough testing on their updates, because they don't, and this is why I choose to use manual updates rather than automatic, because I know Microsoft just push these updates out and then they end up having loads of bugs in them, which cause major problems for a lot of people. So don't be a guinea pig for Microsoft. Take control of your Windows updates. Next, we're going to be talking about telemetry and data collection. So people argue that Windows collects far too much user data and it raises privacy concerns despite Microsoft's claims and full transparency on the data that they do collect from systems. Now, of course, when you're dealing with this many computers all over the world, they have to harvest some form of data to be able to maintain their operating system. But of course, the conspiracy theorists out there will say that they're collecting way more than what they're disclosing. And also, this is a major privacy concern. And the big problem with that is they have no proof to back it up. All they do is they go around reading forums and, billboards and stuff like that, comments. And of course, they just start to believe it so much that they just don't have any sort of physical proof that they are actually collecting that sort of data. But of course, they are harvesting information. They will be, because it's their operating system and they've got to support it. But how much and what they're harvesting is already been disclosed by Microsoft, but some people do believe that it's even worse than what they're actually disclosing, and they're hiding it from the people. So I think you've got a couple of options available to you. You've either got to give up using that operating system altogether because you fear for your privacy, or you just continue to use it and turn off as much as you can and hope for the best. That's just all you can do, really. At the end of the day, it is Microsoft's operating system and they can do whatever they like. And there's not a lot you can do about it apart from choose to use another operating system. So next up, let's talk about bloatware and pre-installed apps. So users often complain about the unnecessary pre-installed apps on the system, like you can see right here. Now, what a lot of people forget is they think about themselves and they're not thinking about the billions of other people that actually use the operating system as well. So I don't particularly like Copilot, so I uninstall it. But there'll be people out there that love Copilot and they use it. So you can see the difficult task for Microsoft is trying to please everyone, and it's not easy because it's just like creating YouTube videos, right? You'll get people that leave a comment that will say, video's too long, video's too short, too much information, not enough information. You can't please everyone. So this is the problem that Microsoft have. And they're probably adding features in thinking that people will like them. Obviously, some people will like them, but some people will hate them as well. So do we need Copilot embedded in everything? For me, no, we don't. I don't need Copilot in Notepad. I don't need Copilot in Paint. But that's not going to stop Microsoft from adding AI into their OS. So remember, they're trying to please a lot of people. Next up, let's talk about the next biggest problem, which is Windows 11 hardware requirements, requiring TPM 2.0, newer CPUs for Windows 11, and it's excluded many perfectly functional PCs, leading to a lot of backlash from a lot of people. So one of the biggest arguments I see people always say in my comments is the amount of e-waste that Microsoft are creating. And yes, that can be true because they can't install Windows 11 on that system. But remember, if that system is 15 years old or 20 years old, it's going to end up in landfill at some point. So regardless of whether it's now or 5 years from now, you're going to not be able to avoid putting that into landfill. Now, what is a valid argument is some people have hardware which does actually run Windows 11 quite well, albeit unsupported hardware. And this is a major problem I see for Microsoft because some people can't afford a new computer and they may have a processor, say for instance like this one, which is an i7 7820HQ, which has 4 cores and 8 threads, and it can handle Windows 11 with ease. And yet, it's not compatible for Windows 11 because of the strict system requirements, and it is a 7th gen Intel processor, which doesn't make the cut. So I do feel for people with systems like this, and there's quite a few other ones out there that do work pretty well with Windows 11. Now, that being said, I do believe that some people that have got a 15-year-old or a 20-year-old computer should not be able to upgrade to Windows 11 because that system is just too old. And there has to be a cutoff point. This is only 8 years old and it still can run Windows 11, but unfortunately, it don't make the cut. Now, one of the big problems is the actual system requirements themselves. So Trusted Platform 2.0 is a requirement, but some people actually have Trusted Platform 2.0 on their system, but their actual CPU doesn't make the cut because it's not on the list. And unfortunately, that just means that you're not going to be able to install or upgrade to Windows 11 on those systems. And it's that decision that has left people in a difficult situation. Now, Microsoft tend to think that everyone can afford a new computer and they should go out and just buy one, but not everyone has the funds to go and buy new computers. But that being said, I don't think it's Microsoft's fault that you've got a 20-year-old computer. It's just the fact that you haven't upgraded or you haven't had the funds to do it. So blaming someone for that is probably wrong. Next up, we're talking about Edge enforcement. Basically, Microsoft are not allowing people to uninstall Microsoft Edge unless you live in the EU, which of course they got taken to court and they had to offer an uninstall feature for Microsoft Edge. Now, Microsoft always claimed that it wasn't possible to uninstall Edge because it was deeply embedded into the operating system. Then all of a sudden, Microsoft added an uninstall feature for Microsoft Edge because they had to. So why don't they just do that for everyone and allow people to choose whether they want to uninstall it or leave it on the system? This is the big problem with Microsoft. They don't offer easy opt-in or opt-out options or even toggle switches to turn off bunches of features with super ease rather than making things super difficult. Another big problem as an extra added bonus is the inconsistency with user interface. You'll see that the old legacy parts here are still available on Windows, and Microsoft are making it harder for you to be able to still get to these old legacy components like control panel. This eventually probably be phased out and it will be embedded into the new UI that Microsoft want you to use. And eventually they will probably block you from opening up even this old legacy control panel, which a lot of people are so familiar with. Another thing people probably don't realize is Windows 11 is not as new as you think it is. It has old components that are from a time which were early Windows operating systems, even as early as Windows 7 or even earlier, existed old components like these old icons. They're still part of the operating system. So it's not really a new OS at all. It's just the same OS with an overcoat on and to mask all of this stuff. So basically it's still there. If you go looking, you can still see a lot of stuff that was with older operating systems that Microsoft made in the past. So if you think you're getting a brand new OS every single time, think again. Anyway, I think that's going to be about it. So that is 5 or maybe 6 things that people blame Microsoft for. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Remember, these are just my opinions. Again, everyone has an opinion at the end of the day. Let me know down in the comments section what you guys think, and if you've got any other things that you want to add to that list. I'm pretty sure there's quite a few, and just maybe you might be able to change my opinion on some of these things that I've said. Anyway, with that said, my name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Just want to say a quick shout out to all my YouTube members, whether you're tier 1, tier 2 or tier 3. I really do appreciate the support. I shall catch you in the very next video, or I'll see you on the Discord server. The link is in the video description. Bye for now.